Hello there, everybody. Welcome on back. Ku5ogrande is here to make people quake with fear. It's pretty awesome. So, are you afraid? Well, you should be, because we've got our next Game Master coming on in. I accidentally revealed everything just now. Well, crap. Fell Temp! Let me drag you in. Oh, hello there, Fell.
Hello, how's it going?
Great, I just revealed everything on accident.
How could you do that to me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I always here. Okay, I'll hide it all. Oh, who could it be? Okay. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, Feltemp, that you are our GM for today. Let's talk about the game. What game do you have?
So what I have is the TurboGrafx 16 port of Thunderblade.
Thunderblade. Okay, and what kind of game is that?
It was one of those arcade games Sega put out where there was a lot of like scaling sprites and everything, and there's a whole that was kind of big appeal of like little wowzer like things coming in your face like that. And this is kind of one of their lesser games of that sort. Like it was already kind of an iffy arcade game, and this is a bad port to an 8-bit console.
Okay, what do you mean things coming into your face?
Yeah, it's like if you play like Space Harrier or Afterburner,
Okay.
you just kind of like at least it's kind of alternates between that and like a top-down shooter. But yeah, the thing is, yeah, the TurboGrafx can't really handle sprite scaling, so they have to like redraw the sprites constantly, and it comes off really choppy and really awkward.
Oh, baby, that sounds special. A little bit jank is what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit.
But you know what? We deal in jank, okay? That's what we have in spades over here in Ku5ogrande. Now, what's cool is that the previous game that we had wasn't a platformer. It looks like this also definitely not a platformer. It's nice for us to have some genre shakeups every now and then. Most people are expecting to get a platformer, so when they don't, it can often end up throwing players off, and, you know, people who normally wouldn't do super well in a match do extraordinarily well. I like to keep people on their toes.
Yeah, that's good. Have we actually had any shmups yet? Or is this the first one?
I'm trying to think. This tournament, I don't believe we have. We have in the past. I know Last Alert, sort of a shmup, but at the same time, this is an auto... No, we had one. What am I thinking? That weird isometric isolated warrior. There we go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We had
that. I remember because I play tested that one.
That was a special game.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I mean, with a name like Isolated Warrior, what can you expect? Shooting him up. Shooting up the bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to lately? What is going on in your life? Anything that people should know about, or anything exciting?
I've been doing a lot of play testing of bad games, shockingly.
Okay.
Playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons online with friends.
Ooh. Okay, those sound like two good options. Playing Animal Crossing?
No, my girlfriend is going to be doing that constantly. Just the Switch is kind of hers for the next month. But she's constantly playing Animal Crossing, so...
Yeah. I mean, that's like half of my life at the moment. It's like Ku5ogrande and Animal Crossing. And then feeling bad that I'm not grading while I'm playing Animal Crossing. Yeah, welcome to my life. See, guilt is something that you just learn how to always have in Utah. Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and capture everything. What could I be grading? Well, nothing right now because I'm doing Ku5ogrande at the moment. Yeah. Honestly, though, Animal Crossing is way too good.
That's what I hear from everyone. And maybe one day he'll find out when my girlfriend's done with it.
Maybe one day. Today is not that day because we have our match coming up in just a little bit. It looks like everybody is streaming, everybody is captured, and I need to test a little bit of audio to make sure everything is solid. Are you ever done with Animal Crossing? Yes, chat, and the answer is no. You really never actually finish the game. It lasts forever. But it's so cute. It's so cute. And you got animal friends, okay? And they run around and they're like, hey. You're like, hey. And I don't know, it's perfect in every way. It's what I'd say.
Yeah, it's good stuff from what I hear. I did play the 3DS one a bit. I
Oh,
did enjoy
okay,
that.
good. So you're not completely missing out.
No, not completely.
Okay, I played a little bit. When I say a little bit, probably a lot of New Leaf. That one was really enjoyable. Yeah, if anybody here has children, I highly recommend it. They will love it because guess what? It's super chill. Like even the youngest children would be able to enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, the game has such a really broad audience, and it's apparently selling crazy well.
Okay, let me actually get back to what is going on. Because we do have some sound, but it's a little bit, teeny tiny bit quiet, and I want to make sure that we can hear everything here. Everybody, these are your 4 players. Wind Rider Shiva, more spiders than I expected. The best name in Twitch history. Transquina, and our dear beloved Sharfers. Jeez, I'm just so sloppy today. There. Less sloppy. We're good. Yeah, best of luck to them. I'm asking Wind Rider Shiva to turn the audio up a little bit. Ooh, that sounds good.
A little bit better, yeah.
I hear all the good stuff. Good.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that, and I think, like, was it 1 or 2 songs over and over again? So, hope everyone appreciates that.
Oh, I do.
When we go to the title screen, yeah, for some reason the digitized graphics tend not to look good on it, even though theoretically you can show a lot of colors on screen. Don't know if it's a hardware or if the people just didn't know how to do that who bothered doing that in the system.
Everybody, I want you to get all of your tank, your helicopter, your explosion emotes because we are doing the countdown right now. Spam those in chat. Spam, spam, spam. I want to see what you've got. I want to see the awesome action emotes. Nuclear explosions are kind of action-y. Yeah, I'd agree. Okay. Cats, also explosions, like in cat form. As soon as I see movement in stage 1, I will start our timer.
Seeing a lot of animals for some reason, but why not?
Well, Bar Pig is kind of a war crime. That's what I'd say. So
now there's now they're starting. One thing is you might notice that makes it frustrating is there's a lot of momentum to your helicopter. Like, I guess it's kind of trying to be realistic physics, but in a shoot 'em up, when your helicopter doesn't want to stop or start when you want it to, it just makes it a bit awkward and a bit frustrating.
A little bit, yeah. It's like I'm definitely seeing that there's some strange momentum. At the same time, you know, I actually kind of like when games do that and make it consistent rather than 100% responsive, because mostly I hate myself. But I think it can be fun if done right. Is it done right at all?
No. I still feel like they're designing it mostly as a regular shmup that would have more responsive controls in this, if they're not really designing around the momentum you have.
My gosh, I enjoy like the smooth jazz music though. This is good.
Yeah.
Everybody go get in an elevator.
Yeah, the other big issue is a lot of them it's hard to see when shots are coming at you, especially in this 3D mode where like you're a big sprite and enemies also have to shoot until they're really near you, so you barely have time to dodge it.
Yeah, it looks like this sort of third person behind view is a little bit rough. And I say that in the kindest way possible, just because sometimes you can die before you even see bullets flying at you.
Yeah, that happened all the time, and I'll let you know that for some reason I was trying to beat as many TurboGrafx games as I could. It's like a collector's site where you can list their games, which games you've beaten, PC, Diceoxen. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna beat my entire library. For some reason, I put in like 5 hours to beat this or something. I have seen the whole game on real hardware, and I don't know why I did that.
Oh, thank goodness this game has inverted controls if you want them, and that it has that option. That's one thing that I don't always expect when it comes to my games, especially from the era, but like that honestly would save me, and that would make this playable for me.
Yeah, that is unusual at the time to actually include that option, and I appreciate it. And one other weird option that almost no one knows about is this is compatible with an analog controller. Which is odd because there was no official analog controller for the system.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What other information did you give them about this game, though? You gave them the game and told them to not switch to 6-button.
Yeah, it's almost some very basics, because this game itself isn't that complicated of a game. I mean, it was designed for arcades. You can kind of figure out how it works within, like, 30 seconds, really. So, yeah, it basically just told... they can use their continues, they can... I didn't even tell them how it controlled. I just told them they could do inverted controls if they wanted to. But yeah, I believe they have 2 continues by default.
Okay. Honestly, there's a lot of death already.
Yeah, it takes a while to kind of feel things out, and I feel like the survival strategies are more about figuring out like movement patterns that work and memorizing where enemies are in the level.
Okay.
Because it's really hard to react to things in time with all that momentum.
Here's the deal. About half of the music for this game so far I really love, and half of it is unbearable. And I don't know if I've ever run into a game that was quite that way, you know? It's just... the second half is smooth jazz, it's perfect, absolutely beautiful, but the first half is like, let's go ahead and put all the notes into this music, and just see what happens.
Yeah, that is weird to be that inconsistent. Yeah, normally a game... And even on the PC Engine, for some reason, even the bad games usually have really good music. But yeah, this is... Yeah, half okay, half not.
Dude, at least the bass is really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, so this was actually developed, I see, by Sega, published by NEC Avenue. Wait, so Sega made... Did they make this version, or did they just make the arcade?
They just made the arcade version. For some reason, they licensed a bunch of their arcade games to NEC to port to the PC Engine or TurboGrafx. Not really sure why they did that, because they were making their own console when the system came out. But they had this, Space Harrier, Outrun, a few others like that, and it's a lot of 3D ones. And the thing is, most of the 3D ports are actually really good. This is kind of the exception. But it was made by NEC Avenue, which is that was NEC's like music and video division. Like it was a publisher of like music CDs and laser discs and stuff. And for some reason, they used that branch of the company to produce most of their PC Engine games.
Yeah. I do see that there was a version that was made for the Sega Master System. So they did get a version for their own console. I'm not sure if it's better or worse than this. I can't imagine it's better, though.
Yeah, it would be better, at least. This one, because this is the version I'm familiar with, and I thought it would work. But there is also a kind of sequel for the Genesis, Super Thunderblade, which was a launch title.
Ooh.
And that one focuses more on the 3D behind-view stuff. And that one, I tried it out, that's a little bit better than this, I think. That was still not a very good game.
Yeah, this company did help out, it looks like, with a lot of ports that came over to the TurboGrafx, including Altered Beast, Space Harrier. They helped out with that, so that's probably why they were called on to help with this. Space Harrier, though, I'm unsure about the port to TurboGrafx, but it definitely is a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like it works better as port, probably because like there's less stuff in the game to mess up. Because probably part of the problem was fitting all the space into the cartridge, because you have all the graphics from the top down and completely separate graphics for the behind view, and that doesn't leave you much room for like scaling buildings or anything.
Yeah. So here's a little bit of the story. Aboard the lethal gunship Gladiator helicopter. Your helicopter is Gunship Gladiator. It's your job to ensure that a coup fails to install a dictator as leader. Okay, so we're trying to stop a dictator.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So, one thing though is, I bet it was an analog controller. I just got a picture of one that wasn't directly compatible with the TurboGrafx, but you get an adapter, and this is kind of what it was designed for. I'm going to put a link in chat, because I think it's interesting.
Okay. I'm really enjoying a lot of the sound effects in this, by the way. It's pretty enjoyable. Okay, I found the manual for the Master System, which might actually have some information here about the story, a little bit more than just, you're trying to stop a dictator from taking over. Oh. I think here.
Oh.
Apparently, you are the gunship Gladiator. You are literally a helicopter.
Okay, robot helicopter. Didn't expect that.
In minutes, you will fly the world's most advanced fighting helicopter into battle against rebel forces. Okay, wait, no. Okay, scratch that. You're not a helicopter. Sorry,
Maybe you're very small. Maybe you're a very small helicopter inside the bigger helicopter.
The first sentence says you're a helicopter, and the second one says you're not. I don't know. Your mission: save your country by destroying the rebels' gigantic mobile fortresses. In a battle, you will fight over land and sea, in cities, caves, and refineries. And this time, it's you against all of them. Uh-oh. Well, that's cool. Rebel forces have invaded your country. Their plan is to overthrow the government and replace it with their cruel and corrupt dictator, who will stop at nothing to get what he wants. The rebels have won battle after battle, rolling over your country's troops with superior forces of tanks, helicopters, and huge mobile bases that act as nerve centers from which they crush your country's defenses. In only a matter of days, the invaders will be knocking at your capital's doorstep. But there is one last ray of hope. You. You are the finest helicopter pilot alive. Yeah, it's you, Feltemp, the finest helicopter pilot alive.
That's all the pressure to put on me in the middle of a match, too. I mean, come on.
I'm sorry, you're the one who chose the game. You better get your skills up there. A battle-scarred veteran of countless skirmishes, the one they call the gunship Gladiator. Your mission, Pilot Thunderblade. What? Okay, so I'm getting a new name. Apparently, the helicopter is not named Gunship Gladiator. You are.
Okay, that's a strange name for a person.
Yeah, and your mission, Pilot Thunderblade, an advanced helicopter, in a you against them battle to rid your homeland of the invading hordes. Why do you have to say you against them? The word battle implies that, you know? It's not
I didn't think so. Like, this isn't like an internal battle within your mind or something. At least I didn't think it was.
I guess? Okay. You must single-handedly or single-helicopterly blast your way through the enemy's defenses to rid your country of the rebel menace once and for all. Find and destroy their secret mobile strongholds. Yeah. So over this, it looks like we have 4 different stages: urban combat, mountain and desert, river delta, and finally a refinery. Where do you think they're going to start having struggles?
Well, it looks like there are already a little bit of struggles.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Once you get to like the caves and have to start dodging things, that's when this game gets fun.
That's when it gets brutal.
Yeah. And the final stage, if they actually make it there, I'm not expecting them to, but that final stage is just... It's one of those things you have to dodge up above and underneath obstacles against horizontal bars, and it's really hard to figure out how high they are until they hit you.
Yeah, and it looks like pretty much everything is a one-hit kill. Wait, you can land?
Yeah, you can land, and you just stop, and I don't know what the point is, but you can do it.
Honestly, if you're trying to kill a tank on the ground, maybe just landing and strafing like Wind Rider Shiva did is kind of a fine idea, you know?
Yeah, can't hurt, and but also have to stop enemy spawns if you just kind of keep stopping every little tiny bit. You like went to a crawl.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's a fine idea actually. Like I feel like if I were playing this, I would probably just try to stay as high as possible to avoid the tanks, but I don't know if that would be effective.
Yeah, they still shoot at you, and they still get the airplanes. So.
My gosh, game over's so fast. I guess it is an arcade game originally, so.
Yeah, it really shows its roots.
And your first extra life is awarded as soon as you hit 500,000 points.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, every 1,000,000 points, you get an extra life.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've never seen Sharfers hit the kind of boss.
Ooh,
I think it's actually
okay.
good now.
Yeah, more spiders right there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so the boss is essentially the ship. Once you technically don't have to hurt it, I don't think, though you probably died from it shooting you if you do that.
It's their mobile base.
True. But yeah, as soon as you're past the ship, you will actually see a different level.
Okay, and from what I can see, you have both a chain cannon as well as an air-to-ground missile. Can you use the missiles on the ship here?
Yeah, I mean, you can only shoot the kind of those, like, little gun turrets and stuff, like, main body of the ship, it doesn't do anything if you hit it. But, yeah, the real difference is, like, just kind of the range. Like, the machine gun is a little bit further out from your helicopter than the missiles.
Yeah, Sharfers did get a game over, not a huge deal. More spiders than I expected is moving a little bit into the lead here.
Well, yeah, I think he's almost done with the ship.
Well, no!
Yeah, you can see it. I started to taper off at the top because he was right there.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say most plane games, most helicopter plane games where you're flying over places have both forward-firing cannons as well as like bombs or missiles. So this one does have missiles. Do you have a limited number or infinite?
You have infinite missiles.
Okay. So that's nice.
Yeah. Though it does make it awkward in the top down because you're kind of the normal shmup you expect. Oh, if the bullet touches him at all, it's okay. But this does have height into it, so it's kind of if you can shoot over targets. That's why you have to use the missiles. They're more directly under you.
Yeah.
And that can be awkward to judge, especially with the really choppy sprite scaling, so you can't quite tell how high up something is.
Yeah. You know, just watching the helicopter section here, it actually gives me some vibes of an old Atari game called Blue Max. Just you were a plane flying over things, bombing different buildings, shooting planes in the air. You know, it definitely didn't have the first or the third person sections that you see on the right side of the screen right now in Wind Rider Shiva, but it was a pretty good game, extremely difficult. It was an isometric game, and I feel like the Atari somehow did it better than this did. Like, the action was there. It was fast-paced, very difficult. And that was Atari. It was actually more exciting than this.
Yeah, I feel like usually games that design around the hardware specifically tend to pull off more interesting things. Like, this game is not designed around the limitations of the TurboGrafx. They're trying to shove in the arcade thing, but I feel like if you had a similar like helicopter game and kind of were more like designed for the system, you probably could have had something a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you. I know that there are probably people here. I know that some people here actually develop games, and I imagine some of them may have worked on ports that weren't originally meant for a specific console. It's less of a problem these days because so many things can be translated from one console to the next, but back in the day, you know, considering that they had completely different programming languages, completely different ways to store memory, it was always a challenge to see what other limitations a console had, and sometimes it just did not translate well at all.
Yeah, like this was a big challenge to port. Like they probably did like. You probably could have done a little bit better, but they just didn't do a bad job considering, I think. Yeah, this must have been a very difficult process.
It looks okay. Yeah. And someone is saying it looks surprisingly like the arcade version. The TurboGrafx actually had a lot of visually impressive games, though.
Yeah, it was good hardware when it came out in '87. It was a year before the Genesis came out in Japan.
Wait, 87?
This is '87 hardware, yeah.
Holy cow. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't know the TurboGrafx was that early on.
Yeah, and it did a lot. Apparently, from interviews I've read with people who designed the system, it kind of came from the people at Hudson getting frustrated with the NES capabilities and kind of hitting the limit. Even like for '86, it felt like they're kind of like, there's not much more this thing could do. They didn't have memory mapper chips yet, so they didn't know how to break it that way. So they kind of designed their own chipset and tried selling it to Nintendo to say, hey, here's a sequel to your system. And Nintendo was like, nah, we don't want it. They went to shop it around. I don't care. And at the same time, NEC was looking into making a video game console, had just concluded, oh, it'd be too expensive to double a chipset. Then Hudson came knocking on their doors like, hey, you want a chipset?
I love it. By the way, Sharfers is on to the second set of stages, it looks like, or the second stage, period.
Yeah. Yeah, we're finally seeing this at that desert level.
Oh, good. It's very desert colored, you know, lots of browns, lots of sadness. That's the color of the desert, just sad.
Yep, and he beat the first section. The first section of this isn't too bad. It's once it goes 3D, I think this is where you start seeing caves.
Oh, why am I suddenly getting... Oh my gosh, what's the game called? Savage. Savage level 2 vibes. Except this looks a little bit more playable, but just barely, What I'm glad about, though, is that there is a checkpoint before this level, so
yeah,
it is easy to start back up and continue here. All of the players aren't going to have to fight, though. All of the other players fight in order to get back to, or get caught up to Sharfers.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see someone else move on to level 2 soon.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's being a little bit brutal. You're completely right. What's the hardest part, though?
The hard things are like those stalactites and stalagmites, because they don't come towards you the way you think they would, just because of how awkward the scaling is. You'll think you're fine, and then it moves like 2 spaces forward, and like, oh crap, it's in front of my face.
Now,
you kind of have to learn a weird way that's kind of how to move around them.
Now, speaking of stalagmites and stalactites, I always like to ask this question, which one is which?
Stalagmites are on the ground, I remember because of the G.
Oh, I guess that's a practical way to remember. You are correct. And also, there's not a G in stalagmite. See, the way that I remember it is that stalagmites might hang from the ceiling, but they don't.
That works too. Alright, look, seeing spiders on the ship again. So, let's see if we can pull it off this time. He's near the end. After this big section of guns, I think that's the end of the ship.
Stalagmites hold on tight? No, that's wrong. That's the wrong way.
I didn't quite make it. Unfortunately, I decided to use a continue, which I would not at all recommend on this first level because they're limited and you need them later.
Wait, CG? Wait. Oh, stalac? Oh,
yeah,
you're right about the
G.
G.
Of, yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about in the might section. I'm like, there's no G in might.
Yeah, I was a little confused for a second. But...
I'm like, there's no G in might. But no, it's right before might. Stalag. Might. Stalac. Tight.
Well, Sharfers figured out how to cheese that middle section between the cave by kind of staying in the up left. Which I didn't even know you could do, so good job there.
Oh my gosh. Come on. I just want more players to get to level 2. Like, Sharfers is a solid player. Solid Barbie player at the very least. This game is 0% like Barbie, though, so I imagine it's a problem. You know. honestly,
I suppose.
Barbie is a perfect video game that everybody should play.
True. Honestly, I didn't find it as bad as a lot of people had said it was. I felt like it was overhyped in badness, Barbie, for the NES.
It's not bad. Barbie, like, if I were a kid, the only thing that bothers me is that the game moves a little bit slow, but I probably would have played it.
Yeah, I think some of the boss stuff is way too obtuse, but, like, gameplay is borderline okay-ish. And, like, there's some, like, basic game design going in there. Like, you can watch them, like, iterate on challenges and start combining things. Like, there's an actual, like, design behind the levels. It isn't just, like, random stuff thrown out like a lot of bad games are.
Yeah, I do. I have a Barbie story, though. Because when I was a kid, like, I don't know, I was really dumb, okay? And there were a lot of things that I took literally or that I just tended to understand that definitely wasn't correct. And so, you know, I thought that girls would get Barbie dolls and that boys would get Ken dolls, right? Because, you know, the girls play with the girls and the boys play with the boys. So I asked for a Ken doll for my birthday. And I didn't hear about this as a kid, but apparently my dad was really angry. He's like, oh gosh, let's play with the doll. But for me, it's just that's what you do because it's a boy. I'm a boy, I get a boy. They still got me a Ken doll. Okay,
Yeah,
it's great.
It's so arbitrary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so arbitrary, like, what human form counts as a boy toy and which ones count as a girl toy.
Please don't say the first phrase again. Yeah, you're right. So, and that Ken doll was pretty awesome because he would scuba dive, and if you put him in warm water, his scuba pants turned into scuba shorts.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, remember everybody, I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. Like, honestly, it was pretty standard that parents wouldn't do something like that and that, you know, things remained pretty gendered. But I don't know, my parents were cool enough that they're like, yeah, okay, I'm angry, but whatever, let's go ahead and do it anyway.
Yeah, it definitely could have gone worse. And
yeah.
Spiders has progressed to level 2, finally.
Yeah.
And Sharpers is on the boss of level 2. Which I'm going to guess is probably going to kill him the first time, just because that's how this game is.
I mean, look, it has a lot of circles. Oh my gosh, it's Mother Brain. That's what it is.
And he's out of continues.
Oh no, Sharfer's going back to the first world. Yeah, I think now that Sharfers has seen that much, if he takes an early death or too many early deaths, he's just probably going to hit the reset button. That would be the way to go.
Yeah, definitely.
I want some onion rings now. And I want a Ken doll. Maybe he can eat onion rings with me.
So what
The way that you... I was going to say, the way that you do it is you pull his head off and you stuff it down his throat. There's a little hole, it would work.
Technically, yes.
Yum, onion rings. Oh, poor Ken. Everybody, this is Ku5ogrande, and we're 25 minutes into the match. At this point, Sharfers has made the most progress, more spiders than I expected, has a pretty solid second. Windrider Shiva and Transquina are both sort of still trying to fight through level 1. So, yeah, well, you were trying to say something, and then I interrupted you by shoving onion rings down Ken's throat. So what were you going to say?
Oh, I was kind of curious, like, what other toys you had growing up, aside from your Ken doll. Who'd you play with your Ken doll with?
Oh, well, let me think. My favorite toy when I was young was this really, really tiny car. Like, here's the deal. Everybody would get Hot Wheels and stuff, but this was like maybe an eighth of the size of the Hot Wheel, you know, not even an inch long, a few centimeters tall, and it was just this cute blue toy, and I played with it so much that the bottom part fell off. So what I do is go get basically the ties that you use to close bread, and I wrapped that around the car and just tied it up tight so that I could keep playing with it. Oh, I love those. Were they Micro Machines? They might have been.
I would guess that, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm surprised the twist tie worked. That's for something that small.
They were totally Micro Machines. Oh my gosh. I want them. Somebody, if you ever want to buy me some real Micro Machines, like, I don't really care for cars, but I love them. That is... Oh my gosh, I'm almost crying from the nostalgia. Ah, I want Micro Machines in my life.
I don't think I ever had an A. I mostly remember the fast-talking guy from the old commercials.
Oh my gosh. I had 3. I had 3 of them. And I loved them all. Like, I don't think I ever, like, drove them around on streets, you know. They, like, would climb up and sit on my dresser. I didn't really play with cars like they were cars. I played with them like they were people.
That's fun.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
It's looking like Sharfers is getting back to level 2.
Yay, Sharfers is starting to get really good at just getting consistent, especially on the first stage. Yeah, I wonder, you unfortunately don't get any extra lives except whatever you get from points, so, you know, there's going to be a game over relatively quickly, but big deal. I think that's kind of expected going into this.
Yeah, definitely. The first time, yeah, early on in learning this game, it's you basically get like a game over at least once. You hope to get no more than like one game over a stage. It's kind of that's how my progress kind of worked for stages 2 and 3 early on.
Oh yeah. This is weird. Because, sorry, I'm just thinking, there are like no toys in my life that are really like solidly this nostalgic, except for those little freaking cars, except for the Micro Machines. That's literally it.
Yeah, it's weird which ones you get nostalgic for. Like, for me, the one that stand out as like particularly nostalgic were those Crash Test Dummies.
Did you have one at home? Did you have? Did you like regularly drive your car into walls?
There was a whole playset where you could design to crash stuff into. I had a car.
Ooh.
I had several of the dummies, and like the car designed to crumple and everything. And there was like a meter on the thing to see how hard you hit the car into the wall. Which eventually we broke.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's actually really awesome.
Yeah, the only another thing is with dummies, though, is the ones that are spring-loaded and kind of pop their limbs out is one of those arms would always just stop working. It would just stop grabbing it. They're like really cheaply and crappily made.
Oh,
But
yeah.
some of them didn't have a spring in them and kind of lasted a bit longer.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I played a lot with the toys that my sisters had. Okay, look, I had 4 sisters. And simply put, you ended up playing together, and you're going to be playing with their stuff from time to time. And the only bad thing is that one of my sisters decided, hey, literally all my toys need a haircut. Snip, snip, snip. All the toys were pretty much bald. Which is fine, you know, you still play with them.
Yeah. Yeah, but some of the stuff too. My mom actually brought some Barbies when she was a kid, and I could play with those as much as I played with other toys.
Oh yeah. I remember I didn't know, or I didn't even think to take Barbie's heads off until I had a friend come over and visit, because he was a typical young boy. I wasn't. I was weird. And he was like, hey, it's a Barbie, let's tear her head off. And then he did, and I was like, oh, this is pretty awesome. This is really funny looking. You know, Barbies without heads. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I was a bird kid, like, didn't want any of my toys damaged at all, so I was not the tear parts of the toy off kind of kid.
Yeah, well, it didn't... The thing is, like, I saw that, and it didn't really damage the Barbie, so it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I suppose that would be, but yeah, I don't even remember hearing that was a thing kids did until after I was, like, too old to actually have any around in the house.
I love the chat is saying that my friend was essentially Sid from Toy Story. I mean, this is the same kid who took a .22 bullet into his backyard and shot it with a BB gun, or who would shoot the cows behind the house with the BB gun, or, basically was every stereotypical boy kind of guy ever. Yeah, it was the same friend.
Yeah, that sounded like chat's right. So,
yeah, every time he came over, he ended up being sent home early. Well, shooting cows with BB guns, like, it doesn't really hurt. It just stings a little bit. BB gun's not going to do any lasting damage to a cow, but, still, not the nicest thing. Or he'd throw rocks at the cows when he didn't have a gun. I don't know. Yeah. The same one who, I think, punched me in the church. Yeah, he's kind of a jerk, actually, the more that I think about it. But he was a friend.
Have you actually heard about him since he was a kid? I'm kind of curious how he grew up.
I don't know. I don't know. Same kid. Got held back in kindergarten. Which, to be fair, some people definitely need to be held back, take a little bit longer to learn. He just, I don't know. I
was heard that one of my grandfathers was held back in kindergarten for biting the teacher.
See, I didn't do that. I kissed the teachers, okay? And I won an award for kissing one of the teachers. Oh,
really?
I probably have it somewhere around here, to be honest. Oh, by the way, everybody pay attention. More spiders than I expected may be getting to the boss soon. Sharfers has made it to the boss, both of them doing a good push through the second stage. What does kissing the teacher mean? It means that I managed to kiss her cheek. Yeah. That's all that happened. I kissed her cheek because I had a crush on her. And I had a crush on her because she made me laugh, whereas the other teachers were kind of boring. Freak. I bet if I had Rosie O'Donnell as a teacher when I was a kid, I would have kissed her too. On the cheek. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so we saw Sharfers die to a trolley part I kind of forgotten about. Like, at the end of the last cave, there was like 2 helicopters that like shoot right for you, and it's really hard to dodge them. So not surprising that's where Game Over was.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody who got in trouble for hugging somebody. Well, then again, it was the 90s. You could get away with smooching a teacher on the cheek. It was fine. Yeah, honestly, More Spiders Than I Expected is doing a good job of conserving lives. That's honestly the biggest thing that you want. Considering that the whole game is an auto-scroller, and you're probably going to lose a lot of lives on the boss, just hold tight and do your best to avoid the shots. Don't worry about dealing damage. Don't worry about getting a high score. Do worry about flying into a tree or a cave wall like Sharfers just demonstrated.
Yeah, and honestly, it's over the course of the game, those obstacles in your way are a lot... Once they start being a thing in the game, are much more of a problem than the tanks and the airplanes are, I think.
Okay. Yeah, the tanks are a little bit annoying in the cave. Why are they in a cave? Why do you have tanks in a cave? Maybe you should keep them outside, where helicopters are likely to be,
Yeah, like, did they get intel they're going to try to sneak a helicopter through a cave somehow?
Also, why are there 1 million walls that are just parallel to each other in this cave? I don't understand. Not how caves work.
No, it's not. But yeah, you see that in a few Sega arcade games at the time, because they didn't really have a way of doing things at an angle. If you had scrolling, it had to be a thing facing you, and for that scaling, rather.
Yeah, I know how sprites work. But they could have made them angled sprites so that it at least looked more correct.
Yeah, they could have. Maybe not in the PC Engine, just with the limited space they have to work with. But
I mean, make part of the sprite transparent. Bam. That takes no additional space. And you can make it slanted. Like, I'm sorry, but Just send me back in time. I'll fix this game. Someone get
I'm actually wondering.
Yeah.
I'm actually wondering if it's background tiles, given how choppy some of them are moving. In which case, that'll be hard to work with because the TurboGrafx only has one background layer, unlike the Genesis or Super Nintendo. So it'd be kind of hard. You couldn't really make part of it transparent. It just kind of.
I don't know because the trees are pretty much the same.
True.
The trees have partly transparent areas because they're not rectangles. So I would believe that you could do that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd at least hope that they tried it.
Yeah, just putting out that hue cards, like there are actually more space limitations on the on the hue card format than like on regular cartridges. Because it's actually more expensive. Because if you don't know the TurboGrafx, like instead of like regular cartridges that had like these, they call them hue cards. They're kind of like they're the size of like a credit card but a bit thicker.
Ooh.
And Hudson designed them because they thought they were cool, basically. But they're actually more expensive to make than a regular cartridge and tended to hold less space because of that. Like I think this might have still been the time when the biggest one was still like 0.5 MB.
Okay.
So that was probably one of the big limitations that a lot of other consoles wouldn't have for kind of a weird reason.
Gotcha. It's... yeah, game limitations are always a little bit tricky. And honestly, for software in 1987, the TurboGrafx did really, really well. And I'd say that this honestly was probably technically pretty impressive for the time. With that said, you're saying that this game still has plenty of problems. What were the main problems?
The main problems are it's just really hard to dodge things, especially the obstacles. Like the way they did the scaling just doesn't work in terms of being able to see what's going to hit you very easily. And like the way the enemies fire right in front of you is annoying. The way you can't dodge things, like it's kind of the way it kills you. Just feels very cheap all the time.
Okay, I gotcha.
And yeah, this port was in 1990, and that actually was after Super Thunderblade on the Genesis, and honestly, that looks better than this does. So it was kind of, I'm not sure how impressed audiences would be at the time.
You know, at the same time, a lot of people were wanting to take the arcade experience home.
True.
You know, and this was a way that people were able to do it. And in 1990, this was probably the best looking way that you would be able to do that. Obviously, anyone who was porting was probably a little bit more focused on making it look good than making it play the best. Just because that's what would sell copies.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, whereas really, gameplay is the most important thing when it comes to any kind of port.
Yeah, and I'm thinking for home console at the time, like the Genesis game was more of a sequel to this, so that was not really a port of the arcade game. And I think some Japanese PCs had better ports, but those are also like crazy expensive.
I want to catch you up with something that happened, by the way. More Spiders Than I Expected actually made some really good progress on the boss of Stage 2. Enough that I believe they may have passed up Sharfers. I'm not 100% sure. It would be worth checking if neither of them makes more progress. But yeah, Sharfers and More Spiders, they're pretty much neck and neck.
That's exciting.
Oh, it's good. It's good stuff. By the way, the person who produced this game, one of the main producers, actually wrote the game Burger Time.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, from what I can see, yes. So, I don't know. Plenty of the people who worked on this port, who worked on this specifically, did help, or did go and do other great things. Yeah, this is basically Burger Time. I can see the burgers. There's a lot of lettuce on Transquina's screen, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say this publisher did put out a lot of good ports. Like, most ports to the PC Engine, even of Sega games, were nice. Like if you play like Outrun or something, or like that actually plays well on the system and looks nice. Like a bit choppier than arcade because of the hardware, but it's a lot fewer problems than this has.
Oh yeah. I'm looking as well, and the sound was made by Funky, Funky, and I don't know what that means.
My guess is there's a thing, especially in the 80s, where a lot of programmers, the companies didn't like them using their real names in the credits in case someone got headhunted. So they would just have like a fake name they put in. And so my guess is one programmer just called himself Funky.
Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering who that was.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah, a few of the other people did have names like that. The Programmer by Godhand. Graphics by Nori P. Hyde. Assistant, Quite Person. Yes, that assistant was quite person. Quite person.
Yeah, even back in the day, like Shigeru Miyamoto, I think he called himself like Miyahone in the Zelda credits. Or something weird like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. Yeah, unfortunately, God Hand was also a video game, so it's pretty impossible to find information about him. Dang it! But quite person. Yeah, it definitely could be a robot just trying to make video games and doesn't want to be called out for it. I mean, we have yet to have robots, like, entirely make video games. Are you excited for that day? Where you play a game and it's like, this is 100% made by a robot.
That'd be interesting. I'd be curious what a robot would make.
I feel like it would be somehow a beat-em-up auto-scrolling dating sim. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry, I'm really excited at the possibilities.
Unless we have Sharfers and the boss of level 2 again.
Flappy Bird MOBA. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm honestly wondering the first like AI game attempts will be like so strange that they'd make your great Ku5ogrande games.
Oh, hopefully, as long as they could actually be played. Oh my gosh. I've got too many good ideas for robots. See, I don't want to be the one making it. I just want the robot to make a video game for me. And then I'll play it and I'll tell the robot, wow, you're a terrible game designer. You are so bad at this.
I wonder if teaching them to make games being a solution to Judgment Day. Like just the other anger about humanity out in the game and we'll be okay.
Oh my gosh. I accidentally messaged somebody who doesn't even live in my town that I would be cool with lunch, and I meant to message Justin. Now this other person wants to go to lunch. I'm like, oh crap, no, what do I do? What do I do?
You chastise him for not staying at home during the lockdown, come on. How dare they suggest such a thing?
Oh crap, okay, well, now I'm gonna have to make plans to go to lunch with this other person. Okay, now to tell Justin and to block this other person out of the rest of my life. Once you make a mistake like that, you can't go back. I accidentally asked you to lunch? No.
You gotta move now. You just gotta change your name and just completely divorce yourself from any way from contacting you again.
It's the 5th time this year. I'm getting really tired of all these name changes. Oh, yeah. Just take them to lunch? Actually, You guys are really cool, dude. Yeah, I would be 100% fine for lunch. Just not today, because we've got bad video games. Guess what? This is the 2nd out of 4 matches today, and I'm just going to be here the entire time and not going to lunch. And watching Sharfers dodge the onion rings. By the way, both Sharfers and more spiders than I expected on the 2nd boss, but Sharfers has more lives. There's a pretty good chance he may be able to get through this. Of course, taking 1 death there. More spiders than I expected, dying and going back to the beginning of the stage. There's just so much time to get through this.
Yeah, Sharfers is so close right now.
Yeah, Wind Rider Shiva is making a little bit of progress here, getting to the forward flying section. Unfortunately, she takes a death there. She's made it to the boss before, but just died on that. Oh, it's rough. I really hope that everybody can get out of level 1.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, this is a very challenging game, though. I mean, you can probably see that.
Oh, people are asking if restaurants are open in Utah, so let me tell you, our governor came out yesterday and was like, "Hey, everybody, I'm the governor of Utah." And we're like, "Oh, great. What are you going to say, you moron?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to give you an advisory. Don't go outside unless you want to." We're like, "Thank you, governor." Vote for me again. We're like, "Okay, we will. Thank you, governor." So, yeah, he just came out and basically advised people to stay home.
Yeah, our governor maybe pushed a little bit before finally closing down businesses, but at least he did. Out of Massachusetts.
I'm the governor of Utah! Yeah,
Yeah, should know that Sharfers is on level 3.
Oh, this is awesome, and he died. Oh.
Yes. Still got a bunch of lives, so we should see a decent amount of level 3.
Well, good. Good. Honestly, hopefully he continues as well. It looks like this is even more difficult. The bad thing is that, like, I can't even predict when somebody is going to die at this point, because it's hard to see any of the projectiles coming for you. It's hard to know what's really going to be the main difficulty here. And here we go. First person flying to the Mayan temple?
Yeah, this section is really hard. I was stuck in here for quite a while before I beat the game.
Okay. Again,
Yeah,
it's a lot of hedges.
Yeah, and it's really hard to tell if you're too close to them or not until, like, basically on top of you.
And also the turning.
Yeah.
Like, there definitely is a lot of turning left and right now. And the poles in the middle of the hedges? Why are there poles here? Who designed this hedge?
Yeah, those sluggish controls are so hard to dodge. You get to kind of, like, memorize roughly, like, oh, the left side's kind of fine for this part of the level. And, like, right after that, maybe go right. That kind of thing.
Really rough to get a game over, but at the same time, I'm unsure if any of the other players will make it as far as Sharfers did. Like, more spiders than I expected is doing a really good push right now, using the strats of go right, then go left. Good strategy, actually, because of the way that the projectiles work here. It's just like Mother Brain, okay? If you stand still, you're going to die. If you keep moving, you probably won't get hit.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of play it light, start learning movement patterns that are less likely to get you hit. I feel like there's never one that's perfect. You'd always find like that one random shot you thought you should have done.
This is totally not the game for Wind Rider Shiva. Like, some people are going to struggle on specific games. This is the Wind Rider Shiva Destroyer game. So sad. Same with Transkina. She's been really trying to get through this, but it's just brutal.
Yeah, this game really is.
Hey, more spiders on to stage 3. If this is not the final continue for more spiders, then we could potentially see him get past Sharfers. Okay. So everybody keep an eye on spiders. That's kind of creepy. I don't want to watch spiders. I dreamed about snakes, not spiders, but yeah, had snakes in my dream.
Really?
Yeah, I think we were actually killing them in order to dissect them in a science lab. So it ended up, it was a good dream because the snakes died.
That's something. Do you remember what you're trying to find out from the snakes, or just like that's just what you do in a dream?
I'm trying to think. I think it was just we wanted to see what they looked like inside. You know, typical science stuff. Just doing science on a snake. Hey, they were dream snakes. You're 100% allowed to kill dream snakes, okay? As for real life snakes, it's really up to you. Like, if they're gonna get you, then maybe you want to watch out. Spiders is just blowing my mind. Oh my gosh, the double column ending up throwing spiders off and leading to the game over there. But spiders had to continue.
Yeah, it's a good chance he's going to pull into the lead. Definitely. I'm not sure exactly where he was compared to Sharfers right there, but yeah, if he can get past that middle section, he'll definitely be in the lead.
Oh my gosh, I am pretty dang excited. You know, we're getting close to the end of the match. We definitely could see a solid lead for spiders. And you know what? I think I agree with chat that if they are nightmare snakes, you're allowed to kill them.
And honestly, I totally want to see what's inside of a nightmare snake. I mean, it's going to be really weird.
I don't know. We didn't get that far. I think I woke up long before we actually got to the dissecting. Which honestly is fine. I don't particularly I've had a lot of nightmare dreams with snakes, just like hundreds and hundreds of snakes, okay? They're the worst. Do not have nightmare snake dreams if you can avoid it.
So I guess you had like a weird vengeance dream.
A what?
Dissecting.
I guess it was a vengeance. Yeah, I guess so. And then I had a video game dream the other night. It was like a real-life video game, and I was popping a lot of red bubbles and trying to stay away from this demonic lady, and then she'd always kill me. Yeah, that was fun.
You should make it and put it in the tournament. See if Xander can teach you.
Like, if I could manage to program the lady so that you didn't always die, then that would be great. I think that people would actually enjoy that one. Oh my gosh. Auto-scrollers. Am I right? There's only so much I can talk about when it comes to auto-scrollers. Especially auto-scrollers with helicopters. Hey, guess what? Helicopter blew up again.
Blowing up more tanks. Alright, I think this is Spider's last chance on the behind view section, so let's see how this goes.
Okay, Spiders. Cadis, by the way, is confirming that Spiders is ahead of Sharif at this point. Still, extending that lead would not be the worst thing in the world. Okay. There's one more death. Let's see if we can see the area after this third person. Oh, no. That is it for that attempt. I'm going to keep this going because we don't know with Trent's Kina if she's going to be able to make some progress. Wind Rider Shiva might be able to get back to the boss again. This game has been brutal for the players, though.
Yeah, it really has. So for a little bit more progress in this, but yeah, from a couple of them we still saw everyone's still doing a good job here. This is a very, very hard game.
Helicopters are not very good at all. Yeah, let's say helicopter versus cave. Cave wins every time. You know, I really like going in caves, though. Caves are so cool.
I think I always, like, as a kid, wanted to go in a cave, but I never did.
You've never been in a cave?
I've never been in a cave, sadly.
That's just weird to me. That's like all their... I was gonna say, like, 50% of the things to do around my town. You leave town, that's one thing. Actually, then again, the cave wasn't even in town, so that's part of leaving town. Drive up to what was called Massey's Cave. It was small, and it didn't actually have anything to keep people out. But at the same time, you know, you could walk probably 10, 15 minutes into it. There was a lot of spray paint in there, though, a lot of vandalism. But at the same time, it was pretty fun.
That's good. Yeah, I just feel like in Massachusetts, we're not really a cave place, unfortunately.
There have to be some caves around there. Oh my gosh, I just learned about some caves by here, by where I live, and we've never been to them. And I want to make it my goal to go to some of those caves this year. There's also a really cool cave up near where I was born. It's called the White Rocks Cave. It's about a 3-hour hike to get to it. Like, you go there, and it's definitely work. You're gonna get exhausted. But inside, it's probably the most beautiful cave I've seen. And that includes Mammoth Cave over on the east side of the country. It includes other caves. Jewel Cave. Yeah, White Rocks was definitely the coolest. Definitely the most dangerous one as well, because the other ones have been commercialized, made so that people are going to be safe. This, You're crawling, and if you're too fat, you're going to get stuck.
Ugh, that would freak me out.
Yeah, if you have claustrophobia, that is not the cave for you. But it's so cool. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna see a video of it. That'd be great, probably, but...
We might actually have some videos and pictures somewhere. I'll have to go look. Okay, Sharfers. Yeah, I don't think anybody is going to be able to get to where they were before, except for possibly Transkina. She is getting back to the next, to the boss. If Transkina can get through the boss here, then that is moving to 3rd place. I believe she's in 4th right now. I'm not 100% sure, but oh my gosh. I did not expect things to be this close, this far into the match. Between two people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, that's an explosion. That is pretty much it. But that was a very good push. We're going to have to check the tapes for sure on this game. 5 seconds left, and here we go. Let's go ahead and wrap everything up. That is time, everybody, and by time, I mean time for us. I hope the players had the time of their lives, because, oh my gosh, this was not an easy game at all. At the same time, I think that there could be some joy with it. It's just not exactly the easiest game in the world.
No, it's not.
Hey, Spiders apparently really enjoyed it.
Glad someone did.
You know, you say that, but at the same time, I feel like this is a game that would really frustrate me. I'm not the best at shooters to begin with, and this, especially with all the momentum, would be rough. Hello there, Spiders!
Hello!
Welcome! Honestly, congratulations, you made a really good push in this game. Especially right towards the end, getting to stage 3, going through some of the hedge maze, I guess, if you want to call it that.
I mean, that's kind of the scary part about that level, is it felt like a maze, and then you realize that there's just nothing, like, between the right hedge
yeah,
and anything else.
I think it's supposed to be a wall, but that's how they did it in any of these weird Space Harrier-esque games just was rough.
Yeah, no, like the game is definitely intimidating until you just realize like how much open space they left.
Yeah, there is a lot of open space. What was your strategy for making the first couple levels consistent?
I mean, honestly, a big part of it was I definitely abused resets a lot, just because lives were just kind of there for feeling out levels.
Okay.
So it's like an early death just means I can't test something later in a level.
Yeah,
or
that
figure out. Sorry.
No, that makes sense to me. That makes sense that conserving lives, especially early on, is super important.
And then, in the irony of that, while trying to conserve lives on level 1, I think the first time I actually completed the boss section of that stage, I did deathless.
Yeah, that's really good, though. Honestly, because the second level is rough, and the third level even more difficult. I'm surprised because we had some players that were stuck, 2 of our players stuck on the first level the entire time, and you made it all the way to the third, both you and Sharfers. Have you had experience with some of the some shooters before?
No, I haven't. My only real experience is Arcade Raiden back in the day, and that was like getting past level 1 was a lot of quarters.
Yeah, you did a great job considering that, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was like one of the genres that kind of scared me when I saw it. Like, I saw, like, the initial image we were given was the, I guess, I forget what the game name is, but you said Space Harrier style.
Yes.
On the screen, and then I immediately started up for the control test, and I see it plays like a standard shoot 'em up as well. And I can't say I had much confidence going into this.
Yeah, I honestly, you did a fantastic job, though. Great playthrough there. Sharfers is somebody who's much beloved in our chat. Came in second. Windrider Shiva and Transquina will go ahead and review the tapes for third and fourth there. We're definitely going to need to review that to make sure. Is there anything going on your stream these days? Anything you stream or anything happening?
Sadly, my stream has been kind of inactive for a while, as much as I keep telling myself I need to go, like, learn some game speedruns, or what I would still love to do is, like, try to clean up playing some of these bad games I keep being given, and obviously never completing.
Oh, so life goes. Honestly, I think that we have a lot of people who just stream on occasion. It never hurts to follow some of these streamers who are just online periodically. You don't have to make it a full-time job, just show up every once in a while, and it's good for us to keep building the community. All of the streamers, by the way, do have their individual streams. You can find them based off of the names that were on the layout, and that's going to be true pretty much for every game that we have. Thank you, Spiders, and thank you as well, Feltemp, for choosing the game. I will catch both of you later.
Yes, thank you very much for hosting this again.
Yeah. Fel, thank you so much.
No problem.
I'll catch you later.
Later.
Yeah, so long.
Well, everybody, this is Ku5ogrande, the Bad Video Game Tournament. Before moving on to the next game, I do need to do a little bit of setup. Part of that setup is going to be running an ad and being quiet so I actually, can force myself to focus on this. So we will be right back.